charging naenda kutoka wadda.
Since Section 48 of the Education Act, under which it was enacted, was repealed, and no similar provision exists in the Revised Judicature Act, Act 16, which is now the added that all application save cost time, as it is in the interest of justice. Sorry, he added that all application will save cost time, as it is in the interests of justice for the accused person or her witnesses who had recently reached out and stated that they have evidence which may be beneficial to our case. The defense further argued that Article 28(1) guarantees the accused person the right to a fair hearing, which is augmented by Article 44 of the Constitution, which states that the right to a fair hearing is non-derogable. It was the position of Defense Counsel that Article 156 substantive justice should be administered according to the parties. We pray that court allows the defense to make the application to present the two witnesses, disclose the evidence, determination. Pre-trial disclosure is a cardinal principle of criminal justice. This is to ensure fairness and avoid trial by ambush. The principle applies in equal force to both the prosecution and the accused. I wish to distinguish the ruling referred to, where this court held that disclosure is an ongoing process and permitted the prosecution to disclose evidence to the evidence to the defense and the battery. The circumstances of the current AW1, the accused person, gave evidence in cheat on the basis of which the prosecution found it discovered evidence to aid in its prosecution. So should disclose the same to the defense. The ruling on disclosure being an ongoing duty is therefore related to evidence or matters that are discovered during the pendency of the trial, not matters that are not known or could reasonably have been. That is the context in which the ruling of continuous disclosure is made. In the instant scenario, before the conclusion of the re-examination of the defense sought to make another application on Section 6 of the Trial Indictments Act restricts an accused person's right to call witnesses not disclosed during the trial and provides that an accused person shall be allowed to examine any witness if the witness is in attendance, but he or she shall not be entitled to any witness summoned other than the witnesses whom he or she may the magistrate's court committee or her for trial as witnesses when he or she desired, whom he or she desired to be summoned. This implies that this person who wishes to disclose witnesses and evidence during the trial can do so in the name of court. The rights counsel for the defense argued that this claim can be sought orally. The prosecution objected to this mode and relied on Rule 2 of the Indicator Criminal Procedure Application Rules, SI 13.8, which provided that applications of that nature shall usually counsel for the defense submitted that the revision of the Indicator Act, December 2023, any section 48(1)D for which the Indicator Criminal Procedure Application Rules, and therefore that the said statutory instrument is no longer applicable and cannot be challenged. The reenactment of the Indicator Act resulted in the provision on which SI 13.8 was anchored, being excluded from the revised edition. Black's Dictionary, 12th edition, defines reenactment to mean a legislature passing a statute again for some purpose, such as codification in substantially the same as it has been. The revisions of the laws of 2023 resulting in changes to the Indicator Act was conducted under the Law Revision Act. Section 12 of the Interpretation Act provides that where any act or part of an act is repealed and reenacted or without modification, statutory instruments made under it shall, unless a contrary intention appears, remain in force so far as they are inconsistent with the repealing act until they have been revoked or repealed by statutory instruments made under the repealing act and until there has been renumbering of the provisions which appear in the Education Act, but no equivalent of Section 48 of the Education Act, Cap 13, under which the Education Criminal Procedure Application Rules were anchored in the new Education Act. The old Education Act, Cap 13, does not conflict with the reenacted Education Act, Cap 16, as far as the statutory instrument is concerned. My view, therefore, that repeal of Section 48 by the reenactment of Education Act Cap 16 does not affect the application of statutory instrument, which provides that all applications to the High Court in criminal cases shall usually be in writing, and where evidence is necessary, be supported. Application, the defense argued that the right to fair hearing guaranteed to an accused person under Article 28.3.1 is non-derogable by operation of Article 44. That the right to fair hearing includes the right to a speedy hearing, and that to require the defense to make a formal application would be to inordinately delay the trial and infringe on that non-derogable constitutionally guaranteed right. The right to a fair trial is not only a right of the accused, it's also a right of the prosecution as the representative of the public. A fair trial is one which satisfies the public interest in getting at the truth while preserving basic procedural fairness of the accused. In Constitutional Petition number 17 of 2024, determined on 2nd June 2026, and it is Farouk Muhammad and others versus the Attorney General, it was stated that, among others, in interpreting Article 28 of the Constitution, it is necessary to appreciate that the right to a fair hearing is not confined solely to accused persons. Article 28.1 expressly guarantees a fair hearing to a person and not merely to an accused person, as has been stated before. That the choice of language is deliberate, it reflects the framer's intention that the entitlement to a fair hearing extends to all persons whose rights or interests are affected by the outcome of a criminal charge. These necessarily include victims of crime whose participation and protection are integral to the administration of justice. When this understanding is read together with Article 44C, which renders the right to fair hearing non-derogable, the constitutional position becomes even clearer. The right is elevated to a status that cannot be suspended, limited, or taken away under any circumstances. Its protection applies notwithstanding any other provisions of the Constitution, including Article 43, which ordinarily permits the limitation of rights in the public interest. The combined effect of Articles 28 and 44 is therefore that the right to a fair hearing is both inclusive in its scope and absolute in its protection. That's where that quote ends, that constitutional protection. In this case, the trial is at an advanced stage. Two key witnesses have testified. The defense seeks to apply orally for leave of court to call and disclose defense witnesses and evidence. The Judicature of Criminal Procedure Application Rules provide that applications to the High Court shall usually be in writing. My interpretation of this is only in exceptional circumstances where applications before the High Court may be made oral. I take this from the word shall usually be in writing. This provision gives the scope discretion to determine whether an application to leave or what to disclose additional witnesses and evidence at this stage of the trial shall be oral or in writing. Considering that defense has already called two key witnesses, DW1 and DW2, an expert witness, is currently undergoing examination. Considering also that this trial commenced in June 2024, there should be an explanation of why since that time the witnesses who have all along had crucial evidence are only just surfacing. In the interest of balancing the right of the accused and the prosecution justification must be provided for the prayer to disclose new witnesses and evidence at this stage. This can best be done in writing. Therefore, the appropriate mode in case is for the defense to make a written application supported by an affidavit stating the reasons for disclosure of the witness and evidence at this advanced stage of the trial. I find merit in the objection for this application of this nature to be made orally, and I make the following remarks. The defense shall make a written application and disclose all their remaining witnesses and documents intended to be adduced by 19th June 2026. The prosecution shall file a reply by 26th June 2026. A rejoinder, if any, is to be filed by 5 July 2026. The ruling in this application will be delivered on 10th July 2026. In the meantime, in the interests of speeding the trial, the defense will continue with their current defense.
And you shall not be making oral submissions of this application. Your schedule doesn't include submissions.
Application and submission.
Written.
Look at time.
Not too bad.
So yeah, all submissions and the application and written submission. And when the prosecution responds, they will also put submission.
Because here on the application we attach the evidence we intend to disclose.
No. Yes.
She said, so the reading, you can do it. You file the application. It's closed. So why should I give my evidence?
The defense shall make a written application.
We're doing this.
And the document.
So do we attach the documents?
That's what
Because that one, then we would have disclosed before the application is granted.
The place shall make a written application. Many documents and an affidavit. I meant to say and an affidavit.
Yes.
In support of the application.
Yes. No.
And that affidavit
In support, yeah. It can't have evidence. Then it means you have disclosed before the application is granted.
and affidavit.
You want to disclose.
By June 19, 2026. Then the prosecution was formed by the 6th. Joined up by 3rd July, and then a ruling will be with it. Just for timekeeping, housekeeping, and only available to one.
level. Doctor, you need to take the oath again, my lord. Yeah, right. Doctor, when we last appeared yesterday, you had told her lordship that you were engaged by KAA advocates in your capacity as a retired forensic pathologist. You remember that?
That's right, my lord.
Now, is it in that capacity that you made the reports in Exhibit 1 P128, D28, and D29?
That's right, my lord.
P128, D28, and D29, my lord. Or, Dr. Njivua, my learned friend put it to you that when you carried out the review and the report, particularly the disclosure of your review of the postmortem report of the late Katanga, says that that was a crime, since according to him, you violated the Health Service Commission Act. Do you recall that?
Yes, my lord, I recall that.
Now, doctor, as a retired consultant forensic pathologist, are you bound by the Health Service Commission Act?
No, my lord, I am not bound by it.
My lord, and I have P128, D22, D28, and D29. D28, my lord, D22, D28, and D29. Doctor, in cross-examination, my learned friend repeatedly asserted to you that your reports were not made based on science, were full of assumptions, and conclusions would not be drawn without color photographs. And he also insinuated that the opinions which you made were influenced by the meetings which you had with my learned friend, Mr. Karuhanga, and that reports you made were made to support a defense theory. You remember that?
Yes, my lord.
It was further, albeit very unfortunately, alleged that these opinions were written for you in the chambers of KAA. You recall that?
That, my lord.
Now, would you want to put light and clarification on those assertions, Doctor?
My lord, those assertions were totally untrue, without foundation, and an insult to me, my lord.
Can you look at Exhibit P128? You have it?
That's right, my lord.
Right. When is it dated?
This opinion was dated July 2024.
And could you tell the court on what source document you relied on to make that report?
I relied on the post-mortem report that was availed to me, and the photographs also.
Right. Now, in your report, you made conclusions which, according to the prosecution in their cross, indicated that you could not have made that report without looking at the photos of late Katanga. You are referred in particular to paragraph 7. What do you mention in paragraph 7?
My lord, in paragraph 7, I said, should the exit wound have been through the right ear, then brain matter and bone fragments would have been evident through the wound, but these were significantly absent in the pictures, and more importantly, not mentioned in the postmortem report.
Right. Now, can you clarify to our lordship whether you had looked at the photos you came up with this?
Yes, my lord. I had looked at the photographs as I have mentioned in the opening of the report, that I base my observations and opinions on the postmortem report as well as the photographs that were available to me.
And which photographs did you look at which he noted that the fragments and bone matter were absent.
Especially there were the post-mortem photographs taken at post-mortem,
Right.
where there was one wound marked A and another marked B.
And for clarity, where had you got those photographs from?
They were provided to me by KAA.
Lord, can we have Exhibit 23, D23? D23, 1 to 14.
The what? Sorry.
D23. Doctor, are those the photos that you looked at for making
Yes, my lord.
conclusions?
These were the photographs that were given to me.
Can you confirm to her lordship that bone fragments and brain matter were absent in the right ear as from those photographs?
Yeah, that's right, my lord.
Thank you. Now, you told her lordship that you received soft copies of the postmortem photographs on 9th October. You remember that?
That's right, my lord.
Can you clarify whether you had the soft copies and you made conclusion?
No, my lord, I did not have soft copies.
Doctor, have the soft copies. We only had the 40B23, right?
That's right, my lord.
Would you like to clarify to court how were you able to come up with the conclusions you made?
Yes, my lord. I looked at the right ear and also looked at the post-mortem report. My basis was the photographs provided, and the post-mortem report.
And at the time you made the first report, is there any document you did not have
I
at
did
the
not.
time of making that first report?
Yes, I did not have the witness statements and other evidence like the crime scene report that the DPP had disclosed at the start of the trial.
Right. Now, doctor, when you received the soft copies of the colored photographs, did you say that was in October?
No, I received, yes, I received them in October.
Now, when you received the soft copies, did they in any way contradict the conclusions you had made by looking at the hard copies?
My lord, they did not contradict.
Now, would you now want to explain to this court why was it necessary for you to make the second and the third report, the exhibit D28 and the D29?
My lord, when I made the report of 3rd July 2024, I had a number of queries.
When you read the report of that July 2024,
One of them was whether the deceased was right-handed or not. 2, whether the deceased had any neurological or physical impairments that could have prevented him from shooting himself. Whether fingerprints were lifted from the trigger of the gun. The behavior of the deceased. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry.
What he was, this is what he was doing.
My lord, we lost him at whether the deceased had
Impairments.
that could have prevented him from
Shooting himself.
yes.
And the behavior of the deceased prior to his death.
Very well.
So, these were my lord, this was the information I needed to support my observations right from 1 to 12.
Is that anywhere in your first report?
No, I did not expressly put it like that, but I raised these questions in the report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
The first report.
The first report. That is the. Can you read what you put down? That yes.
The whole report, or just that part? Okay. My lord, this is what?
The part which relates to what you have told her lordship.
Yeah. Okay. What I wrote is this. If the gun.
No, can you maybe, for the sake of time, go to the page 3?
That's right. That's what I am.
Yes.
That's what I'm reading.
The last paragraph?
Yes, the last paragraph. Okay.
You can read it.
My observation was the gunshot injury was to the head. an elective and the most common part of the body targeted in suicide cases.
Yes.
The gunshot was also a close contact, considering the blackening of the right ear. If the gun that caused the injury was found at the scene and the deceased was right-handed, then these features are highly consistent with a suicidal gunshot injury. Further, it should be established if the deceased was right-handed, as it has further been established that most people use the dominant hand to commit suicide when they shoot themselves. It is also important to establish if the deceased had any physical or neurological impairments that could have prevented him from shooting himself. If fingerprints were lifted from the trigger of the gun found at the scene, this would be helpful in proving this as a case of suicide. The behavior of the deceased prior to his death should be investigated to establish if he had a mental disorder which could be associated with suicidal ideation.
So these are some of the other information that you required to come up with the rest of the reports.
That's right, my lord.
Now, you recall, Doctor, that you made report exhibit D28 and the D29 after this court had made a ruling of no case to answer, and that the reports which you made were...
No, my lord, I made no reference to that.
Doctor, what do you then have to say about this assertion and allegation from the prosecution that you made the two reports after looking at the ruling of no case to answer to advance the defense theory.
That's totally in the imagination. My Lord, the foundation of exhibit here, DEX 28, is on the report that I made on 3rd July. I see no contradictions in the two reports. One is simply, the second one has filled in the gaps that were in the first report. My Lord, I am not sure if by 3rd July 2024, whether it had been said the accused had a case to answer. I don't know.
Thank you. What about the third report?
My Lord, the third report was simply a PowerPoint presentation I made so that people who are lay in the medical field could understand the scientific basis of my observations. I made this to make it very simple, in my opinion, to make it simple for like lawyers to understand.
We are grateful, Doctor. Now, Doctor, did anyone, be it Mr. Ellison Karuhanga or anybody from the firm of Kampala Associated, the accused person, direct or influence your findings and conclusions in the reports which you make?
Absolutely not. My Lord, these are technical reports. I don't know where the advocates of KAA even had the brains to make such a presentation.
Okay. Now, medical.
Make the report.
Medical. Doctor, you told this court that you interacted with Mr. Karuhanga of KAA more than 10 times during the preparation of your reports, right? You recall that?
That's right, my Lord.
Would you like to tell the court the purpose of those interactions?
My Lord, Counsel Karuhanga, it took me 3 meetings with him to understand the concept of beveling. A lot of the technical issues here
Mr. Morgan is understood.
You will not understand it. will not understand up to the end of the trial.
Up to now.
An average person.
My lord,
The technical, you are saying the technical.
just to explain an abrasion ring took me 2 hours to explain to Kazo Karuhanga. So, so it was really basically to take him through the ABCs of gunshot injuries and then my interpretations of this.
To explain,
Take you through the MBC
Yeah.
of gunshot injuries. Basically,
Explain basics of gunshot injuries and then their relationship to the injuries that the deceased sustained.
Right. Doctor, my learned friend asked you to read paragraph 8 from exhibit E 128, the first report. You have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked you to read paragraph 8 as well as the last paragraph. And the insinuation by counsel was that those two paragraphs were contradicting each other on the issue of the direction of the bullet. Can you now make clarification on the two, whether they actually contradict each other?
My lord, in paragraph 8, I noted this. There is no independent forensic evidence described or otherwise to confirm that the wound on the left temporal area is the entry wound. The descriptions stated in the postmortem report of this wound, and these descriptions are no blackening, no tattooing, and no muzzle imprint, are in fact consistent with descriptions of an exit wound. My lord, in chapter 10, paragraph 10,
Yes.
is traced by the correct identification of the bullet entry and exit wounds. In this case, the erroneous identification of the entry wound led to a false identification of the direction of the path of the bullet.
Right. So, Doctor, is there any material difference or variation in your findings and conclusions in the three reports, D128, D28, and D29, on the direction of the bullet?
My Lord, absolute, to me, the bullet was from right to left, and this was confirmed, my Lord, by the crime scene report where the bullet mark was in the ceiling. My Lord, it could not have been otherwise. Maybe,
Yes.
maybe the only bullet that can come from downwards, then somersaulting to hit the roof. My Lord, that was just on a lighter note.
But maybe you have the interpretation.
I think this trial is looking there.
Listening.
He agrees. It goes down, but it goes up.
Eh? Hey. Eh?
Ora okubakonyera weeko kwalira kitabi omukugu oba akukabuzi bwabo akwegera abako kandi kinseke kenyini niho yakoliye omulimo gwe kandi niho yahandikire ebinandiko byona ebyakozere nowakaba nagakomera ndiko byakarukire bikyampaire nabo akaba nayimira mu kitinisa kye adaktari omunyingo ogwo nti okukora hari ekitandiko kino kikaba kigamba hari Henry Katanga ebiragiro ebitwara mu mezi atugambire nti senatege tuyacuye kandi kukwata hari ebintu nk'ebyo nti ebiragiro byakozere byona bijwire okugurukira ruli okutebereza okuba akakora ebihandiko bino okusigikira hari ebintu byona ebyamuhairwe gamba nka ebihandiko ebimu ebyokukolesebwa kaiso n'ebisisani ebyamuhairwe kandi ekintu ekindi kizere kigambibwaho nti ekihandiko kye kikakorwa omuntu oli we yatekawotekaho omukono gwe mubuufu nakyo agambire kiri kyamazima mu bihandiko bye akasigikira muno hari ebbaluka ekolwa kali omuntu omufu nebisisani ebyamuhairwe okuluga omulonyamateeka abamusabire bakonyera kandi nti kuba ekuta ekiturukire mu kiba harubaju olw'obulyo kandi hariho ebisabya by'obwongo n'amagufa agateekateekere kino kiba nikyoleka amazima gabaireho kandi bino bitabemu bitaloho hari omubiri gw'omugenzi kandi nahantu hona hari yahandikirwe bino byona akabitunga okuruga mu bihandike byamuhairwe g'amakamubaruha babako nibyoleka kugumya nti mazimako bintu bino byona bitabeho okukola nakunaho kabitahandikirwemu akafuna ebisisani ebindi ebyo bimu baitu mulingo gundi ogwesimu ebyokwezi 9 kandi kano akabata kakozire ekihandiko baitu omukumalirira baitu ebyafiremu byona akabikora nasigikira hari ebihandiko ebindi ebyabaire bimuhairwe okubanza n'okubanza babisabire okujja okubakonyera kandi nti obwire buno akabata katungire ebihandiko ebimugamba nka ebyakozerwe babaireho ebintu bino nibibaho kandi ekihandiko ekyomukulu eyali nakureshekekiyakuliho omusango ebintu ebindi nabyo ekyo byabitungire bikaba bitaina ekibirugendera okuba bikaba bigumya ekaba atwire mwira kandi nti kikamusookera kyamagezi muno loni ekyekizo okora ogwalukamu okora ekitandiko ekindi ekikoze okwezi ebyokwezi 3 ogw'omusanju omwaka 2023 kino yakikozere akaba taina ebifaguzo bingi gamba nti yabaire ali nakoze omukono gw'obulyo akuba yabaire ayinako kyona kabwongo lundi kyona kamubiri ekikaba nikisobola kumukakanuka kwerasa olundi kakuba bakebeire ebisigalya byemundu eyali ekozeibwe mukitino olundi enyirabya y'omugenzi ekaba nisobola kumukugira okwerasa mukitabo ekyabandize tibirimu byo byenyini baitu aina nkokuya kisanirize mwekitandiko ekyabandize ali agambira nti ekikuta kino abahamutwe kandi niko kandi kiri kimu ali kiweka ebyo bakira kwerasamu kandi ekikuta kino kiri haipi muno ekikumanyisa nti omuntu ono akerasa kandi bino byona bikoleka nti bino byona byenkora y'abantu abaize nibeerasa kandi nokulola nti atabeho okulyakuzibwa kakutu nakyo kikumanyisa nti omugenzi mazimako akeita kakuba kandi emundu yasangirwe hakika regio kandi haina omufu bino byona bikoleka biri bintu ebizere bibaho abantu abairasa kandi ekyo kikulu nekikulu ekindi kwetagakutekerezebwa kiri kuba biri kwetegereza olulungi obugenzi balaba yabaire nakwesa omukono obulyo abakibatira berekyaho okutandwa nebakozesa muno emikono yaabo ekora muno kandi ekifo ekiri kyetaaga kwetegerezebwa kiri nti obugenzi balaba yabaire ali obulemu bwona kamubiri obwo okusobola okulemesa okuwerasa olungi ebyengalo ebyabaire hamondo kakuba byabaire bizoirwe nolikebiirwe kikwekirungi muno kandi kitwanguyire wetegereza kandi okutegereza omusango kandi malira ntikumanya nti buli kweyita baitu atali okwiyita kandi we kalina ekyamanyire kyona nti nzikozeeno ekabekozere okweyira ekibasirire mwiyira nti kyalobo omusomeke eba talina musango ogwogalukamu ali yakolire ebihandiiko byebintu byona amazimako byona bigambibwa biri okugobereza okugobereza ebihandiiko bye byona nabikora okusigikira hali ebintu byona ebyamuhairwe kandi nekikisembayo ekikulu muno nti musaliyo ebihandiiko bino byona kibiina byona bikwatagana mulingo byabihandikiremu byona bikwatagana musayo ekikyona ekikwakana hali byo kandi nti kurugira haliwe nti eisasi lino likateerwa okuruga habulyo nebigenda habumoso liraba halyalaba haigulu ekikoleka nti ekikolekebwa enyonyekezi eyateerwa akasolya kandi eisasi lisobola kuba lyateire omuligambirwa okuruga obumoso likagenda habulyo likatemba haigulu likagateera miso likatemba haigulu eryo liri lya
Okay. Right. Doctor, you recall my learned friend put to you several duties and asked you to confirm them and whether those duties apply to medical health practitioners. Then he told you, actually, but you denied, that you exhibited cognitive bias in your reports. He further put it to you that since cognitive bias is a mental element, it is evidence from the circumstances surrounding your reports, right? Doctor, would you like to clarify to his lordship whether indeed there was any cognitive bias
My lord,
in the reports and in the entire execution of your duties?
my report, to the best of my knowledge, the best of my abilities, very objective.
Prosecution also put to you that you did not apply reliable and applicable principle standards in the reports. Doctor, are you aware of any applicable scientific principles that you disregarded in the execution of your reviewed report?
None, my lord, none at all.
My learned friend also put it to you that in your report, you make no mention of any limitations, alternative theories, knowledge boundaries, and uncertainties. Now, would you like to explain to this court what those limitations and alternative theories would mean in this circumstance?
My Lord, to me, the case was either a homicide or a suicide. In my report, for instance, the first report on page 3, I noted that these features are highly consistent with a suicidal injury. I did not say this is suicide. I said highly consistent.
Meaning,
Most likely a suicide case.
thank you.
The same, my Lord.
My lord, can we write that?
Oh.
Yes, my lord.
Yeah.
More likely, my lord.
This means that most likely
Yeah. Yeah. In defense exhibit 29, again, my conclusion is that the possibility that this is a homicide is extremely slim and highly unlikely. And my Lord, I also concluded, I said, the forensic evidence in this case points to suicide unless proven otherwise. My Lord, to me, I'm exercising objectivity.
In exhibit D22, you have it, postmortem report.
Yes, my Lord, I have it.
That postmortem report done by Dr. Ambayo and Dr. Ale Mutumba,
That's right, my Lord.
did they make mention of any limitations and or any alternative theory?
I don't see that anywhere.
Right, Doctor, the prosecution put it to you that professional. Now here the insinuation was that you were expecting to be paid from Kampala Associated Advocates for your reports and you giving testimony in this case. You also recall, you told her lordship that you expect to be paid approximately 10 million from Kampala Associated Advocates for your services, of course. Now, You also mentioned that in the Razor case in Fort Portal, you filed a bill, right? Now the question is it unprofessional, unethical, to receive payment in respect of professional consultancy services?
To the best of my knowledge, it is not unethical to be paid for professional services. My lord, there's something called professional fee that I'm aware of.
Are you aware of any legislation which bars you from receiving professional fees for your services, or for any other professional in that matter?
No, my lord. My lord, I've even been engaged by government and paid a professional fee after my retirement.
Is your payment conditioned on the accused, in this case, being acquitted?
No, my lord, there's no such thing.
Doctor, did the expectation for payment for your services influence or compromise the independence and opinion which you expressed in your report?
No, my lord, it did not.
Now, you recall, Doctor, that one of the duties of a forensic scientist, as put to you by my learned friend here, was the duty to consider exculpatory evidence, to which you agreed. Yes? You call that? Exculpatory evidence is the one which tends to clear someone from the charge,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Now, in this case, was there an exculpatory evidence for you to consider from
No,
all the material that was disclosed to you?
no, my lord. My focus was basically one, was were my findings consistent with suicide or with the homicide? There was nothing to bias me. There was no evidence to sway me, to unduly influence me, my lord.
Doctor, you told her lordship that you received a copy of the DNA report. Recall?
That's right, my lord.
You also looked at the blood splatter pattern analysis
That's right, my lord.
and also the SOCO report.
That's right, my lord.
My lord, can we have them for him to look at? Yes. Yes. No, no. We will return to them later, my lord. Let him still have them. Put them on the side. Doctor, which is the first one which you are looking at?
Crime scene report on blood stain pattern analysis.
Okay. When was it made? What date?
25th January 2024.
Right. The next one is that?
This one was done on 30th April 2024.
Right. That is the DNA report.
DNA analysis report.
Okay. And the last one?
The crime scene examination report dated 2nd January 2024.
Right. Now, doctor, can you confirm that those three reports were issued long after the postmortem report by Dr. Ambayo and Malay?
That's right, my lord.
In your report, did you consider those three reports in your?
Yes, I did.
Right. Doctor, you recall land friends spent a lot of time on the gunshot wounds, right? Their characteristics and direction of the bullet. Right? To you that the bullet that killed the late Henry Katanga moved from left, right, and that the wound on the left temporal area was the entry wound, while the wound on the right ear was the exit. Recall that?
That's right, my lord.
Now, in all your three opinions, and throughout the cross-examination, sorry. I want to take you back a little. That from the prostitution, the bullet that killed the deceased moved from the left to the right, downwards, through the exit in the right ear, right?
But he already, respect of the process of re-exam.
But, sorry.
Come up in the process.
Yes, indeed, my lord, and I have all the right to. Much obliged, my lord. Yes, doctor, proceed.
The characteristics of a gunshot entry wound will depend on the distance from which the firearm was held.
Let's go
But
to the
yes.
near contact.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. My lord, it has been universally accepted that gunshot entry wounds should have a collar of abrasion. A collar of abrasion, a ring of abrasion. Yeah.
That is from a distance or?
Yeah, no, even if it is close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when the bullet spins and burrows into the skin, it will leave an abrasion ring at the entry.
Yes.
Now, in addition to the abrasion ring, there may be muzzle imprint, soot deposition, tattooing, burning effect of the flame, and in addition, the edges of the wound are inverted.
Right.
They go inwards. Inverted means it goes inwards.
Yes. Now, look at exhibit D22 and P4, my lord. P4.
Yeah.
You have?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. That is the report by doctors who?
Ambayo and Male.
Ambayo
And Male Mutumba.
and Male Mutumba. In their findings on the entry wound, did they find those characteristics?
That is hearsay. Even in cross-examination, we never asked him to tell us what those two doctors found. I know there is nowhere where I crossed. Ask him to tell us what the other colleagues found. Never rose.
My Lord, my learned colleague extensively cross-examined on inverted edges. He put it to the witness that there were inverted edges. And the witness has just told us 6 characteristics of an entry wound, and one of them is inverted edges. And my learned brother, Mr. Kabega, is going to that, is asking the witness to look at the post-mortem report, because they described the wounds, and then see if they described one of those characteristics or if they described all of the characteristics. So my lord, it is in order. Inverted, everted appeared here from the bar, from the cross-examination. So can we find those terms that he was using and putting the witness in the report or outside the report, is where my colleague is going. So I think, my lord, it is in order.
cross-examination or characteristics. Done in short interviews.
Yes.
And those pictures came up in
Cross.
examination.
Yes.
Yes. Asking cross-examination and in examination in chief on whether, on what the characteristics were and consistently these are the characteristics that have been having.
Yes.
So even the pictures were shown.
Yes.
Now at this stage, it's being asked to look at the E4 and to state whether the witnesses, the experts who did that postmortem stated that on
Yes.
I think that is important. What is on the report?
Yeah. Much obliged, my lord.
What is on the report?
Yeah,
In relation to the characters.
Obliged. Please. Doctor, continue, please. Doctor.
yes.
This is re-exam, my lord. We never
See,
cross-examined on that.
counsel cannot.
Cross-examined on the postmortem report and the contents of the postmortem report.
My lord, you have made a ruling on this matter. Counsel cannot disagree.
Counsel, you can't mislead the court.
No.
Let me check the report.
We are most obliged.
No, I'm not misleading the court.
What came up in relation to that report and the postmortem
Kindly,
findings.
because we
Our
never
panel, these
made
pictures are
any
part of the
comparison
postmortem.
with the postmortem.
Let me find
Most of that.
what
Most
came up
obliged.
and then you can.
We are most obliged. Because we only remained on
But
the
to
photos.
traverse the postmortem
That is-
report in relation to the characteristics.
Yes.
My lord,
Yes.
the vast photos.
At one point, the question was put to the witness. I recall it. That in the postmortem report, do we see the baby effect? And then
My lord, they even tendered all the postmortem report by doctor.
Was in respect his comment that they never mentioned the word beveling in their report. And the question was, because it was not mentioned, is that why you assume that they never considered the beveling? And he said yes. So when it comes to
So that's it, is it?
characteristics of exit and entry wounds, our emphasis was only in respect to the two photos, and we never made comparison with the postmortem. It would be most obliged, my lord, if we go back to the report.
I tried to recall a comparison between his one-page reports
And
and
the
four
5 page.
exact
That is
and
in-
the 5-page report, and then as
Yes, that
That
was
is-
in respect to whether
The form,
it was
not
detailed,
content.
because that was in form rather not content.
Because it has no content.
We wouldn't have asked him to solicit hearsay.
No,
What
no,
other-
no,
no.
What he has said.
Because Mr. Kaweda is asking him to mention whether the doctors say so.
Whether it is written there. Hey, hey.
And my lord, the practice of overruling court is not healthy.
You are now, we are now realizing.
You have ruled, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Let us find out whether indeed they traversed.
Yeah, my lord, you have pointed out 3 incidences, and you are right.
Let me check.
And you are right.
Just for purposes of ensuring that we are good. But that is what I
Characteristics. Even them we couldn't give it up. Characteristics.
KATANGA TRIAL atugambye atabeho okugambibwa kwona okwetegereza baitu okwetegereza okusigidda mu magezi g'enkaani n'obusobozi bwe baitu akakozesa amateeka goona gamanyire agaliyo kandi sayeeteeka eryamanyire eryalekereyo okusikirira haliwe guno buli musango gw'okwita rundi gw'okwita mu bihandiiko bye byona nayoleka obwokulolawo bwingi kandi guno obusinga obwingi nti bwona buli obukwoleka okwita baitu amazima gali atatwere mu kimu nti ko mazima ko kuli kwita baitu kandi emikisa nonga omukisa nti asobola kuba omugenzi yayisirwe eri ntaito muno olungi tihalona mukisa gwona okusobola kuba nigumanyisa nti akayitirwa kandi nabakozere okukebera omutumbi kino batakyolekye mu kihandiiko ekyakozerwe hali ekyakozerwe kyabafu ekyakozerwe hali omunyoro Henry kandi kikozerwe Daktari Male atoleke nti akabanasobola kubaho ekintu kyona ekikulemesa kandi okusigirira we mu magezi ge kiri muno kandi kyamakulu muno we okusasulwa sente ze ez'obukozi kandi busabyo kiragiro kyona ekikumuhakana okutunga obulungi okusasulwa kandi na gavumenti tesobola kumuseera luno okukwata abokuba omukozi asasulirwe kandi nti okusasulwa kuno kiri ntekintu nikyo ekintu ekikuleteza rundi okuhandiika ebyahandikire nti omunyegerwa asobola omusango rundi kandi nikyo kimu kikwesiganiza rundi kikwekuusa hali emirimu ye agikola nga daktari omukugu ayina obuvunaanyizibwa okuba naye kisobola kuba nikiheereza obwakaiso omu musango nk'eno kandi mazimako okusaho ekintu kyona ekiyalozere ekisobola kutwamu nti kuno kuli kwita rundi okuyitibwa ebihandiiko ebyakozerwe hali ekitundu ekikaka omusaayi nekindi ebikwata hali ekicweka ekyo ekyabeerwawo guno omusango nekindi ekikoleka obuhangwa bw'omuntu kakolwa hanyuma muno ekihandiiko ekyabafu kimazire kukolebwa kandi amazima gali nti mu bintu byona ebyakozere mu kihandiiko ekyo akafaayo muno kandi akesigikira muno hali ebihandiiko bisatu bino baitu olubajjo lwa gavumenti lumugambira nti ekihuta ekyali isasi lyataahire kiri omukono gw'obumoso kandi hali lyatuukire kya mukono ogw'obulyo ekintu kandi we okuseruliza okwe kandi kwetegereza okwe atugambire kandi akugumya nti kikiri nikyo ekyo kiikire kandi mazimako nti badaktari abakozere ekihandiiko ekikoleka kityo akurora batandikire eisasi mazimako likalubata okuruga obulyo nirigenda obumoso kandi atugambire ebintu bimu ebyolekya
ebyolekya obubonero bwingi muno buli kamukaaga obukolekya ebikolekya ebihuta ebyo babireetereize imomo amasasi gamba nti habaho okwokebwa ali esasi litahire kandi habaho omubiri nga gutahe omwonga ali esasi litahire report indicates the limitations to several conclusions are made in this report. The limitation here was that beveling was not obtained, was not observed at no opportunity. Effect of this limitation. So I find that the post-mortem report was relating to entry and exit. I find that admitted two documents. Post-mortem reports.
If you go down here, because after that section, then we went now to the
But is not section sufficient, my lord?
But
Yeah.
Mr. Kabega is asking him.
No, you asked him what in the post-mortem report shows
Entry
an exit. Yes. So to clarify characteristics is appropriate.
Are you minding the nature of question Mr. Kabega puts to him?
He
Where
has
did
asked
it ever
him-
rise?
It arose
What is
because
the
you asked
specific question?
because you asked him
about
entry and exit.
I'm trying to
Yes.
find
But we never made
And
any
you asked him to
comparison
go.
between, post-mortem and
That's not the question.
No, that was the question.
No.
Mr. Kabega, if your question is about what characteristics are from that form,
Yes.
that point to entry.
Yes.
The question is that.
Yes.
But
But you're
Mr.
blind.
Kabega is asking
Please.
what the other two doctors.
So
My
he
lord,
said,
our
Mr.
question is
Mr.
clear.
Mr.
Mr. Kabega is asking what the other two doctors said or did not say.
Let's move. Mr. Kabega,
Much obliged,
ask the
my lord.
question about the characteristics on that form without mentioning the group.
Much
Hey.
obliged.
Yes, which characteristics on that form, on the post-mortem form, on PE4, what are the characteristics
Yes.
of
But it is made by doctors, my lord.
ask the question, what are the characteristics in that
Ask that.
of entry, and whether he
Don't tell me
agrees,
what to ask.
whether he agrees.
Yeah.
Dr. Njivua, right? Who made that report?
The post-mortem report was made by doctors Male Mutumba and Ambayo Richard.
Thank you. What are the characteristics of an entry gunshot wound? Rose.
That's recorded in the report.
Right, as recorded in the report.
My lord, the wound on the left that my colleagues described, they said it is starlet shaped. Starlet shaped. And then
Starlet meaning star shape?
it's star shaped.
Yes.
My lord, we went through council here, and actually starlet wounds were exit wounds.
Is he still answering the question?
Yes, it's okay. No, okay, yeah. But here, he said it's starlet shaped. He say it has, there was no blackening of the tissues around the entry wound, and also no tattooing, and no muzzle imprint.
Right.
no mention was made of the edges.
Now, doctor, if those characteristics are not present, can you term that as the entry wound?
You can't, my lord. You can't. It's no blackening, no tattooing, no muzzle imprint. Then they say star-shaped. No mention of edges. You cannot call this an entry wound.
Thank you. So, would I be right to say that a wound with the characteristics you have mentioned cannot be classified as an entry gunshot wound?
That's right, my lord.
Right. Now, looking at that photo, doctor, you want to clarify to court in relation to the edges of this wound?
Yes, my lord. Clearly, that wound has been shaved. The area around it has been shaved. Normally, the wound is shaved so that you can demonstrate the nature of the edges. My colleagues shaved this wound and then refused to comment on the edges. Number two, there is an unexplained white strand in that picture. Number three, there's an unexplained white strand in that wound. Yeah.
Is a picture where there
Yeah.
is a ruler.
Are we using A or B? My lord, we need to be clear for purposes of
Yes,
submission.
Even that A can show. No, what one is it?
Let's be consistent. We need
Go to the one
submit.
where there is a ruler. Next. Go on.
My lord, do you remember us cross-examining based on the one with the ruler?
You asked about ages.
You asked about ages. So one
Yeah, but my
Next.
lord, re-examination is limited on specific components
Next.
that
Go
were
on.
traversed in cross-exam. We shall be, my lord, confusing the court record. We had a choice to cross-examine and A and B. So we cannot now re-examine on other photos, my lord.
Unexplained.
On photo A. My lord,
Okay.
On that wound.
most of blood,
that
my
very
lord.
wound.
Most of blood.
Okay, let him zoom.
Go down.
Hey,
On A. A.
let him zoom it. Yeah. No problem.
But it's just again the one with the ruler. Why are we having the
Yeah. That
You
one.
zoom that.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm. Give it to doctor so that he can
Show us.
place the cursor. Yes.
It's clear in the way you read.
Which one, my lord?
Where the arrow is. Yes.
It is unexplained.
Unexplained, yes. My lord.
Now go to the.
Here.
Yes.
Yes, that's why it's one. It's unexplained.
Maybe.
Unexplained by who?
Yes.
By him?
And my lord
By him or those?
and father, there was a bone defect behind this bone. There's a bone defect where the bullet passed through. So in the process of shaving this wound, you definitely interfere with the edges. And that's why counsel here, during cross-examination, told me that even his grandmother knows that those edges are going inwards. So, to me, it is wrong to assume that the edges are inverted.
Does the postmortem doctor, sorry, does the does the postmortem indicate that the edges that what they call entry wound inverted?
No, no mention is made at all, my lord.
By
No mention is made by the authors of this postmortem report,
Dr. Ambayo and
Dr. Male.
and had this wound been inverted, do they have recorded it?
My lord, let's be fair, my lord. So, Mr. Kabeka wants
My lord,
to
let me-
enter the mind of the colleagues.
Let me proceed. Let me proceed. Sit. You sit. Doctor, the nature of a wound which, if inverted, is a matter the doctor carrying out postmortem would have listed.
That's right, my lord.
Now, is there, therefore, any scientific basis for one to have classified this as an entry wound?
Absolutely none, my lord.
Sorry, my lord.
You
Scientific basis for one to have classified that
And we now go to the next photo. B. Doctor, you, in cross-examination, gave the characteristics of near contact gunshot entry wound. Yes?
That's right, my lord.
Are the characteristics of near contact gunshot wound expressed in this photograph?
That's right, my lord.
For clarity purpose, can you point them out, Our Lordship?
My lord, the main characteristics here are: one, the powder blackening. The second one is the blast effect of the gases which have caused extensive tears of this ear, multiple lacerations. And my lord, I would like to make it categorically clear that the force which caused these lacerations must have come from outside to inside. It could not have been from the other side.
Inside, outside.
If it could not have been from inside to outside. Otherwise, it would have blown off this whole ear. It is from outside to inside. And my lord, our ears, the common sense, they are like this. Huh? They are not folded like this. They are not folded like this. Our ears are open. So to have caused that injury to the, and it is on the outside of the ear, outer aspect, the force could only have come from outside inwards. So these characteristics of the blast effect and the blackening are what makes it a near contact wound, my lord.
Yeah. Right. Doctor, from the report made by Dr. Ambai and Malay, in their postmortem report, they classified this as the exit. They say it was 5 centimeters by 3. And recall was your evidence in Ross that the entire evidence, the entire dimension of the right ear were taken and stated to be the dimension of the exit wound. All that?
That's right, my lord.
That was his evidence in chief. I never cross-examined him on the so-called dimensions. So what Mr. Kabega is recalling is their own evidence in chief, which we chose deliberately to ignore.
Non-reason.
Because
No, don't testify.
we could not cross-examine on anything.
Don't testify.
We only
I'm
cross-examine.
not objecting to his testimony or his
We
reason.
only cross-examine on what was worth that time.
Okay, because one on what was really worthless.
May I proceed, my lord?
I never went to their measurements.
But
Never went to the measurement.
let's find out from the witness,
Never,
my lord.
it's not him who was.
He's here.
I was very deliberate about it.
Yeah.
Doctor, was that measurement by them correct?
No. Yeah.
Can Mr. Kabega take quote where I ever asked any question on measurements? I never did. And deliberately so.
Okay, now, I want to move on, my lord. Yeah, because they're trying to distract me. But I'll move on. In Exhibit D28, you stated in cross-examination that there is no forensic evidence support the direction of the bullet, as you stated in Exhibit D22. Can you now summarize to court, Doctor, the forensic evidence which supports the direction of the movement of the bullet?
Yeah. My lord, the wound on the right ear, as I mentioned, have the characteristics of the entry wound. The wound on the left, above the left ear, have the characteristics of the exit wound. Based on these two, the direction of movement of the bullet was from right to left and upwards.
Right. You recall, Doctor, my learned friend challenged the near contact range findings because, according to them, that report D22, no soot deposit, no tattooing, and no binding on the left temporal wound. Then counsel suggested to you that soot could be washed away by washing the body by blood, to which you kind of agreed, right? Now, in all the documents which you received from Kampala Associated, the evidence, did you come across any evidence to suggest that the body of of late Henry had been washed before being taken for postmortem?
No, my lord.
You indicated a short while ago, photograph A, there was shaving around the wound, right?
That's right, my lord.
Did the two doctors make note of that in their report?
No, they did not.
Did the two doctors in their postmortem report indicate any limitations that would have hindered them from observing, for example, the tattooing, the soot deposit, muzzle imprint?
No, my lord, they did not.
Now, again, in your testimony and cross-examination, that bone beveling is the gold standard for determining bullet entry and exit points in gunshot wounds to the skull. Yes?
That's right, my lord.
Is also your evidence that in that postmortem report D22 in P4 being at all.
That's
Yes?
right, my lord.
So does the absence of beveling from the report mean that there was no beveling on the skull of the deceased?
Of course, it does not mean there was no beveling. It only means it was not looked for and documented.
And doctor, in a case involving a dispute in respect of gunshot wound to the head, what would the failure of a pathologist to document bone beveling tell you about that examination?
That it was poorly done.
Doctor, again in cross-examination, you are asked whether you could conclusively determine entry and exit without relying on bone, and you said yes. But, doctor, in absence of documented beveling, what other features do you use to rely upon to conclude that the wound on the right ear was the entry wound, and the one on the left being the exit wound.
The soot deposition, which is on the right ear, and the blast effects of the gases.
And Doctor, you recall, in cross-examination by my learned friend, in reference to this photo, B, my learned friend insinuated that what you call soot is actually a shadow and a cloth. What do you say to that?
Yeah, my lord, a shadow is an outline of one object that stands in front of a source of light. In other words, a shadow has an owner. I don't see that blackening having any owner anywhere. And my lord, what is a shadow is clearly there. The shadow of the ear behind it. You can see this black area behind the ear. This, the outline of the ear. Yeah.
Point out the blackening on the suit.
Yes. My lord, this is the blackening of the suit. Now this here is the shadow of the ear. This is the real shadow of the ear. But that one has no owner. That's the blackening. But the real shadow is here. You can see there's a shadow here of the ear. Number two, this cannot be a clot because my friends documented clots in their report. Where there were clots, they documented. They never documented any clot on the right ear.
Can you, doctor, from the postmortem report, show whether the clots were documented?
My lord, on page 2, at the beginning of page 2, it is clearly documented there was clotted blood over the face, left shoulder, anterior aspects, right shoulder, and arm. This were what was documented, my lord.
And what are the anterior aspects?
Anterior is the front.
Doctor, in cross-examination on Exhibit D22, postmortem report. You did not, it is your evidence that you did not find anything to show that the hands of late Henry Katanga had been swabbed for gunshot residue, right?
At postmortem,
Yes.
yeah, it was never mentioned, my lord.
What would be the forensic significance of a failure to take gunshot residue swab from the deceased's hands?
My mic is not working. Huh?
Okay.
My lord, if it has been specifically mentioned in police form 48 that this was a case of suicide, then it is absolutely wrong not to swab the hand for gunshot residues. My lord, it is better you try and fail rather than fail to try.
Right. Doctor, the prosecution put it to you, the prosecution put it to you that you violated the sub judice rule because you posted or shared your reports in this matter with PowerPoint presentations with the Uganda platform on 13th May 2026. Right?
That's right, my lord.
Did you share your reports on that platform?
Yes, I did share my report on a closed group of 72 pathologists in Uganda. 72 pathologists.
Is that platform open to the general public?
No, it is not, my lord.
And anyone who is not a pathologist join it?
No, my lord. It is only for pathologists.
Right. You also recall, Doctor, that questions were put to you suggesting maybe before I go, why did you post your report on the group?
My Lord, after court here, I found a lively discussion on the court proceedings that day on that platform. I made a posting of the 50 slides so that the pathologists who were discussing already could discuss from an informed point. Number two, these presentations were already out. They already, I am sure, even what I am talking now is being watched on YouTube. So I was not posting anything new on that forum. So, and of course, it generated a further debate. To me, it was like, I have now made this presentation. What do my peers say about my scientific presentation?
In effect, they were kind of peer reviewing what you had done. Much obliged, my lord.
I know this. Mr. Kabete is making the witness to offend further the role. He's being unable to the witness. The damage is done. You are cementing.
Yes, my lord, you can. You can. You can.
Doctor, questions were put to you. Questions were put to you, Doctor, comparing your retirement status with that of Dr. Male Mutumba. And from your understanding of the material you reviewed, what was...
My lord, did we ever ask that? I never asked about retirement status of the witness vis-a-vis any other person.
Okay.
That's a new matter being introduced.
Okay.
That's a new matter.
Very well.
His own, not for others.
Right, okay. Doctor, questions were put to you during, of course, cross-examination, and were being referred to as the grandmother test. Recall that? In relation to the wound on the left side. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Questions were put to you concerning what you refer to as the grandmother test in relation to the wound on the left of the deceased side, head. Would you, doctor, explain to court what you mean by inversion in that context?
My lord, counsel suggested that we should bring his grandmother to come and look at these wounds, and it will be obvious that the wound had inverted edges. My Lord, for us in pathology, we leave our grandmothers and fathers in the village. we do not bring them to practice pathology in court.
What about Mr. Morgan? His grandmother and his
Wherever they are, those grandmothers, we let them retire in peace. Their eyesight is even compromised.
Right. And doctor, is inversion alone sufficient for you to determine whether the wound is entry or exit?
No, it is not. It cannot.
Again, my learned friend put to you suggesting that the wound on the left side of the head of the deceased would represent an intermediate range or distant range entry wound. Doctor, what is your comment on that?
My Lord, the wound on the left should never be looked in isolation of the wound on the right. When the wound on the right clearly bears features of the entry wound, it is useless to start speculating about the wound on the left.
Doctor, I recall maybe doctor, supposing you looked at it alone, that wound, would you still agree or disagree with what the prosecution had put to you? That it is intermediate.
My Lord, if that wound had been alone, now in absence of a ring of abrasion, it cannot be an entry wound.
Right. Now, recall my line friend statement of the case which was in Fort Portal, right? Do you recall?
That's right, my Lord. That's right, my Lord.
And he stated that you ignored the girl report. And if you had not, you have come to the same conclusion. Can you shed some light on that, Doctor?
Yes, my Lord. I recall that case. My comments are this. One, I did not ignore the girl report. It was part of my report. Number two, I called it an anesthetic death. And somebody who does not know what an anesthetic death is would think that because excessive anesthesia was not found in the deceased, somebody who does not know what an anesthetic death is would think that because an overdose of anesthesia was not found in the deceased, then this could not be an anesthetic death. My Lord, that is erroneous. An anesthetic death is any death associated with the process of anesthesia. And in this particular case, the young man had eaten his breakfast. He had to ask if the surgery would take place as had been scheduled. The doctors told him, we have space today to do this surgery. And in the process of the surgery, they made him sleep. And he vomited the stomach contents. Those are the ones which went into his lungs and killed him. So the patient was not prepared for surgery and was given the wrong anesthesia. So this is really the story of what happened in Fort Portal.
Right.
My Lord, I examined these tissues under the microscope and saw the damage in the lungs that were caused.
Right.
And so, because I had established 100% what the cause of death was, I made my report very confidently, my Lord.
Doctor, you recall, my learned friend also suggested to you that you engaged in a corrupt practice when you issued to the relatives of the deceased a receipt demanding payment of 1.8 million shillings from Makerere University. Government receipt. Can you shed light on that, Doctor?
Yes, my Lord, I gave that receipt in respect to this same case. The payment, my Lord, was for the post-mortem examination, for analysis of tissues.
My Lord, by same case, he means this one under trial?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Katanga.
Yes, it is this same case.
Yes.
Yes. It's the same one, my Lord.
I'm sorry, my Lord.
of the Ruhanga photo. This is the Ruhanga.
And my Lord, my facilitation and stay in Fort Portal during the trial. Fortunately, my Lord, the lawyers for the diocese wrote to Makerere University, and we discussed this issue with the principal and the dean in medical school. And they said I had done the right thing. This case, Makerere has never complained. I have never been taken to court. Maybe council will start that one now. But
That's why I'm advising you not to be excited about it.
So that is, my Lord, that is the story.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Now, Doctor,
I'm returning the threat, my friend.
That's why he was standing, my lord.
Yes, my lord. I don't run away from my state. I will stand in my book.
Doctor, in your cross-examination, we come across City Mortuary, KCCA Mortuary, Department of Pathology, and Department of Pathology, Makerere University College of Health Sciences, right?
That's right, my Lord.
Would you, for this court, shed light on each of these?
My Lord, under Makerere University, there is the College of Health Sciences. And under the College of Health Sciences, there is the Department of Pathology. That teaches medical students, postgraduates, and even people doing PhD. One of the subjects taught in the Department of Pathology is forensic medicine. And this subject is practically taught in the Kampala capital city mortuary. My Lord, it's the pathologists from the Department of Pathology and the postgraduate students in that department who for a long time have been carrying out postmortems in that department, in the mortuary. The mortuary belongs to Kampala City Council Authority. And so we've had a very good relationship until the police threw us out. Not only me, as council suggested, sour graping, the whole entire team of us, senior pathologists, were thrown out of that mortuary. And so we could not supervise the upcoming or the people who were deployed there. And my lord, the place is now being manned by police officers who are doctors. And this is very dangerous. You can see in this case, my lord, the police officers, the CID officers, went to the scene and determined the entry and exit wounds.
Is he still answering
Yes.
a question related to anything that arose in cross-exam? Or is opening a new area for which we may need, my lord, extra time to further cross-examine?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was asking about the relationship between, yeah. Okay.
Incidentally,
Okay.
is Dr. Ambayo, police officer.
That's right, my lord.
Mr. Question. Maybe you can
Yeah. No, no, it's okay.
Dr. Ambayo, police officer.
Yes, he is. He's a serving police officer.
My learned friend here suggested to you that in fact you are sour graping because of having forced out of the KCCA mortuary. What do you say to that, doctor?
That's not right. It's not only me, it's the whole entire team of senior pathologists who were forced out.
My learned friend took you to the case of Honorable Evander's death, recall?
That's right, my lord.
And you said you were arrested?
That's right, my lord.
Would you clarify to court the circumstances relating to that case and you being arrested? And what happened after your arrest?
Yeah. First, my lord, this case was essentially of Nebanda. My arrest and prosecution in the Nebanda case was based on two things. Per diem, my lord. It was per diem which caused this disaster. My colleague wanted to take these samples, the second set of samples, to London and asked me to request Parliament to facilitate him. When I told him,
My lord, will that colleague be given fair hearing at this stage before this court? Does Mr. Kawega feel that it's going in the right direction?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
oh,
My lord, that's why
he's not mentioning
Oh, yeah.
of money.
yeah, okay,
That's why he's
Yeah.
not mentioning the name.
At least we traversed his love for money per year.
No, but you object to that.
Yes, but not other third parties.
Yeah, but my lord, he has not mentioned any names.
You can't do that.
He hasn't mentioned
But,
any
You
names.
shouldn't be allowed to do that. He has
Yes.
not even mentioned any
He
name.
hasn't mentioned name. He was very careful.
yeah.
Please.
And my lord, when I declined that request, I was betrayed. I was betrayed that I was not there in the post-mortem room when this post-mortem was being done. And it was said that I stole body parts, parts which the police are the ones who gave to me. Ultimately, when the case went to court, court ruled that I had no case to answer. There were two of us. One of us has been appointed a minister. My Lord, I'm waiting for my appointment.
Right. Yes, yeah. No, just two questions. When I arrive, my lord, your time. Yeah. Yeah. Doctor, the prosecution took you to this book of yours, and specifically at page 32, where you specifically mention reasons for giving conflicting expert opinions, right?
That's right.
It was also suggested that that book of yours never been peer reviewed. So what would you say to that, Doctor?
My Lord, that this book was not peer reviewed. I said this book has been reviewed by one of the world's leading forensic pathologists, Professor Michael Polanin, the chief forensic pathologist of Ontario in Canada. My Lord, the foreword to this book was written by Honorable Justice Dr. Henry Peter Adonyo. He could not have written this without reviewing the book.
You review and then go forward.
So, as far as the review is concerned, this book has been widely reviewed. And my Lord, regarding page 32, I simply wrote about why different experts may make different reports or different opinions about the same case. Yeah. Yeah, so
Very well. Now, you also recall, Doctor, my learned friend,
yes, my lord, this book, Forensic Medicine, Medicine Law and Ethics in East Africa, has a list of contributors. My lord, I am humbled to say that I'm one of the contributors to this book. It's a forensic book for East Africa.
to what page?
On page 6,
You are listed, are you?
I am listed as one of the contributors.
Right. Finally, can you go to page 31, 231?
231, yes, my lord.
Look at that photograph which appears there.
My Lord, can we be sure about?
The same.
It's a picture, my lord. It's not a
Just
photograph.
turn the book like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
for him
Okay.
to see.
It's an illustration, my lord.
My Lord,
What do you say about that picture, Doctor, in relation to gunshot?
My lord, when I was asked in cross-examination, these bones which were coming out on the opposite side of the gunshot, the prosecutor implied that this could be blast effects. My lord, this cannot be, because blast effects are a result of the gases that come out. The gases cannot traverse the head and cause bones to shatter the other end. It cannot be blast effects. So blast effect is on the side where the gun is shot from. In our particular case, on the right side. So the blast,
B.
yes.
My Lord, that is all from me. Thank you. We'll summarize for him. We'll summarize for him. Yes.
in the meantime, my Lord, Mr. Kawega could return all the
Which ones?
court is
They are there.
Andiko kya daktari ale daktari ambayo wakoleta nti wakoleta nti ikuta kiri nyuzi kinako kwiragura kandi ebintu ebimu batabiteeka omutima kandi ekitandi kimu kikoleka nti mazimako kasalwaho eisoke kandi kino kikolwa emirundi nyingi kikolwa okusobola okutegereza ebintu ebimu kandi bo batahandikire kandi obundi oba bali basala eisoke ebifeka bino bitangalizibwa kandi amagufa agamu gasobola kuhindurwa kandi bino byona bazimako bakoye batandikire musanduku bakoze baitu batasobole kuhandika baitu ebihandiko byona byatwongere kusaho ekikuleka nti omubiri gw'omugenzi gukaba gwogerweho n'akatiito akabaho okusalwa eisoke
Okusooka nakikuta kino okwabadaktari bakozere baitu bakakuhandiike kandi ekituuru kiba nkakasiitale akaba nikagirala ekintu ekimerere omaiso ekiri mu kyererezi baitu kandi hano busaho kitulu kyona kitulu kyona ekikuwerekereke baitu kandi hariho ekitulu kyokukubona ekyatolekeze hansi kandi biwandiiko bino atasangemu nti bakabazaho hali ejo eyasigayireho hali omubiri gw'omugenzi. Akamugamba obusweka obuba butahira omunda kisobola kuba nikyo ekintu ekirwawo okugamba nikintu ekibuta niho esasi zitahiire kandi okutunula ekibuta sayidi emu otatunulire sayidi endi mazimako kiri ekintu ekitahire konse nakatiiko. Omusango guno gwabaire mpoti eya Tooro yali mazima ngu ebyalugire mu kukeberwa atabifeeho okuba akaba ayina ekipindi akaba nateera galiga mazima baita mazima gali nti omugenzi ono akaba tategekerwe kulungi kandi abadaktari bakakola ebintu ebitabaire ebitahikire obwo omugenzi akaba amazire kulya ekyanyenkya yagenda irwaro okaguza waraba yagenda kusemezebwa bo bamutekaho asemezebwa ekiro ekyo kyenyini ekyamuletereize okusesemera ekyene bakabaliire yagenda omubiri we ekyamuletereize okufa kanini ekiri nti omubazi ogwokukabya bakamuteera mwingi muno ekyokuba nti okutasangibwemu obakebere omutumbi nikiregamba nti okufa kuno kutalugire hali okukabibwa kandi nti ebikabuzibwa hali ebikalo ebyenyamukana ebisangirweku ebyezire nabazaku amalwaro lundi ebicweka hali babula emibiri yabafu nebindi kiri habwokuba nti ebicweka bino byona bikora hamu kandi bikoragana hamwe ebimu bisomesa ebimu bakoramu emirimu kandi bazire nibakora hamu mubicweka bino okwitya akasumi akitongole kya polisi ekikabaikireyo kandi tugabire mbayo ali mukozi ekitongole kya gavumenti esana yaleero alikizinzika ekitabu kye ekigambirwaho nti busaho yakigarukiremu omusangogezo yakigarukiremu amazima gali nti baingi muno abakigarukiremu kandi abantu baingi muno ab'omugaso gamba nga dakizaali omu wakabe okuva wa Canada Ontario akakigarukamu kandi aliho obukulu ayahandikire ahakubaibwaho ekimanyi kandi
Edison, have you seen how re-exam is done to save time? For you would be still on the first page.
okuba nti niho esatu lyatukire baitu ekintu ekitalukire kino kibaho kakuba amaanyi agokukozeseibwe nigarukira aheeru nigataaha omunda kisobola kubaho kuruga omunda kuruga aheeru.
Yes, we can take it.
I wrote just a minute. Yes.
19.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, your lordship is certain.
The third and 24th. This is normal.
My lord, the dates again.
23rd.
Can you also take some dates from the Wikipedia? So my lord, that will get from the
That starts on 29th. Remember, my lord, we got a witness in here. Then we need to get which date so that we are able to. Yes. Came and went back. Now if we can look some. That week of 29th, my lord, if we can lock in some dates.
23rd, 24th.
Those we have
Yes.
already taken.
Yeah.
Yes.
29th, the one which begins in 29th. I'm looking some dates, 4 days in that week. So I don't want to finish this case and see how we take an
Our lawyers also complaining.
need to put the time, especially because of the late
So, my lord, we have 23rd and 24th.
Those are okay.
Then we have
The week that begins with 29th.
In that week,
Can get 4 days in that week. It will be very good. 4 days. It will be a long way to sort out.
my lord, in that week, 30th is not available.
To 29th.
Is available.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Second and third. Those 4 days will help us.
That is how it is.
Please. Can you let us keep it?
we have 29th, first, second, third.
Lord, just a minute.
Be able to finish.
Alright.
Yes.
1st July.
Yes, July.
Maybe
Just a
3rd, my
minute,
lord.
my lord.
Not 2nd.
My lord, we have the days. That's the position. Second is
Second is
available.
available.
And
This
third,
third also.
yes, yes.
Just a minute.
Only not available.
On 30th.
Just a minute, my lord.
For now, we have
Yeah.
My lord, just a minute. Let's finish that week.
That's Friday.
Yeah.
Only had the third.
That's only the third.
29.
29,
Yes.
29,
Yes.
first
Yes.
and second.
So now, sir.
It took a year. It took a year to close. Eh. Hmm? So, don't complain. Don't complain.
Where is Mawanda?
Kunonya buno.
Sajjawo mulala. Sajjawo holiday. Sajjawo mulenge. Sajjawo mulali akwata ku bisu. Naye baba. Bakiswala. Sajjawo aswaza. Leave the bag here. Leave the bag